Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kpush podcast, episode 56. I got it right this time. We have a very special episode for you today, in that of the fact that it's not that special. 56 is not that special of an episode. That makes this special. So please enjoy. Pull out some popcorn. I've also decided that I am going to start to count every time I say and in a podcast, because I keep making these promo videos. I've just started to do this. I enjoy making them, and also they will prove to be very successful. I believe so. My TikTok is already I have a follower already, okay? I have one follower. So I'm popping off as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I almost said it there. I almost said it. But we're not going to be saying and throughout the entire podcast. And if we do, we're going to count it. And I have a little sheet here that I'm going to be counting it on. But what are we doing here? Let's start the podcast. Okay? Start the podcast. Pull flagrant 2. Driving while high. This is a topic that needs to be talked about, okay? And I mean, what is the big deal? What is the problem with driving fucked up? I mean, if we think about it really, there are people. There are people so stupid who drive cars. Why can't the smart people drive high? If you think about it. And that was a terrible point. That was a terrible point I came up with, because I don't know how to start off this topic, because I need like a good opening statement, and I don't have it yet. But we're going to get there. We are going to get there. But, I mean, no, what is the big deal with driving high? Especially if you live in Easton, Massachusetts. If you live in Easton, Massachusetts, what is the big deal? What's the big deal? All the roads are, retarded, okay? I went 45 seconds without saying the word retard. I can't do it without doing it in a podcast. It's just going to be said every solo podcast. But seriously, if you think about it, why can't you? Why can't you? It's going to impair. Shut up. Okay? Because here's the reality. It's not that bad. Okay? You can drive high. And the problem is with the people who are saying you can't drive high, right? And this is very important, what I'm going to say. Not only is it important, it's controversial. And people don't want to hear what I'm about to say, okay? But somebody needs to say it, okay? And it's getting ridiculous. Driving high, the issue, the whole political debate about driving while being high on marijuana or other drugs, is it's like the law with abortion. And you're not going to hear that on CNN. You're not going to hear that on the New York Times. But this is the Kpush podcast, where we tell you the truth. And the truth is that this issue about driving high is exactly the same as the abortion argument. Meaning, the people who are trying to legislate abortion are people who are not going to have abortions. People who are trying to legislate driving high do not drive high. And this is the problem, okay, with this legislation, is that these people have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. You have no idea what it's like to drive high. And the idea that you would know what it's like without doing it is crazy to me. I mean, that seems a little absurd, right? And like my friend Sam, right? One of my best friends, he's been on the podcast multiple times. We did Senior Assassin, where you get like a water gun, you pay like $10, somebody shoots. I don't know. It sounds like it's for 8-year-olds, but seniors in high school do it. I'm a little confused on it. Doesn't matter. So, but while my buddy Sam is playing this game that sounds like it's for 8-year-olds, gets hit by a car. And the person who hit him with his car was sober. What is the media going to tell you? I mean, the media isn't going to bring this up. 86% of all crashes are sober drivers. I mean, CNN is not going to say that. And that's the truth. But you will get that here on the Kpush podcast, where you will have the discussion, should we let minors in particular, drive high on marijuana? Especially if they live in Eastern Massachusetts. That is the thing that you have this conversation about, because it's just fucking ridiculous. These people who have never driven high are gonna come in and I mean do legislation on this. This is fucking absurd. Fucking absurd. If your family member hasn't been killed, okay, the very rare incidents of your family member being killed by someone driving on marijuana, okay, if you're not one of those people, if you're not somebody who actively drives high, what is the discussion we're having here? And, you can't, there's just too much traffic nowadays. There's too much. There's too much waiting on the road. I get bored. I see people with Teslas. They're probably watching porn and fingering their pussies while watching porn and while their Tesla drives them to work. It's too much. I'm jealous. I'm impatient. And doing drugs while driving a car, it helps. It helps. And that should be taken into consideration. I'm being dead serious here. People think I'm joking. I feel very strongly about this issue. Okay? The same way I feel abortion. I mean, if you're not somebody who's not going to get pregnant, who's not going to ever have an abortion, you shouldn't have an opinion on abortion. Now, that being said, if you're not somebody who drives high, who isn't ever going to drive high, who hasn't had a family member killed by somebody driving high, you should not talk. And when I say high, I'm talking about drunk driving too. Because being drunk is a form of being high, because alcohol is a drug, yada, yada, yada. What happened to booze cruising? What happened? Booze cruising is a fun activity to do with the whole family, especially when you're with your family. When they're in the back seat of your car, your Honda Pilot that you are driving, and the baby who's like won't just shut the fuck up and is just continuously crying on your way to church, you need a road beer. You need it. And this idea that you're just going to deprive someone of a nice road beer when you don't actively I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck are you to tell somebody that they can't have a road beer? Ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And I said this before at the beginning of the statement. If you live in Easton, Massachusetts, it should be required for you to drive high. There's too much traffic. Too much. There is too much traffic. And I believe that it would be better, like, we should get signatures, right, of drug users who drive high. We should get a petition started of people who drive high who agree to not drive high if politicians get rid of traffic. And I believe Elon Musk can fix this. So I think Elon Musk should be president so that we can have people stop driving, because Elon's going to do it with tunnels. He has tunnels, baby. Tunnels. Okay? He's going to fix the traffic problem. We need to get signatures from drug users who drive high. Because if you can go 50 miles per hour in a 25, why would you need to do meth? I'm being serious. If you can go 50 and get rid of all police too, we're already on board with that. We're getting rid of police. That's on the agenda. So once we get rid of police, Elon makes tunnels to go everywhere, all throughout the country. Elon, 2024. Why would you need to do meth and snort it off a prostitute's breasts when you can go 50 in a tunnel made by Elon Musk? Why would you? Why would you? And, like, I keep bringing up Easton because what else is there to do? And this is the whole thing with people who don't drive high, is that driving while high on a drug is maybe one of the most fun and entertaining things to do. Again, you won't hear this on CNN. You won't hear this on New York Times. But getting intoxicated and opening up your car door and putting your car keys in and starting to drive is fun. It's entertaining, okay? And when you live in Easton, Massachusetts, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing. There's not a roller skating rink. There's not a Chuck E. Cheese. There's not a playground. There's not a water park. There's not a circus. There's not a comedy club. There's not a movie theater. They have 700,000 Dunkin' Donuts, but they don't. You can go to Shaw's and Target, or you can get fucked up and drive. And I'm not sure which one you would want to do, but I do know mine. I do know which one I would rather do. Truly, I know which one I would rather do. And there's this whole thing with, like, listen, there's parks in Easton. That is what you do in Easton. You go to park and you walk around, and you do that 365 your entire life. Is you go to different parks around Easton and you walk around and you look at trees that all look the same. And they all have the same landscape. But you go to a park and you look at the park. But my whole thing is with that is like, where do you think I'm getting fucked up at? I'm getting fucked up at the park, and then I'm leaving the park and driving. What do you think I'm doing? I mean, what is going on here? Truly, what is happening? And again, people will always say, what if you accidentally hit a 7-year-old crossing the road? And, like, this is the easiest answer ever, right? This is so easy, it's honestly embarrassing that I have to spell it out. If I hit a 7-year-old girl, let's say girl, that's crossing the street, that didn't look both ways, that didn't see an intoxicated driver, okay? That's definitely her fault. I am doing what any responsible human being would ever do ever. I'm putting a post-it note on said child's body saying, Kpush car did this. And I am driving to the nearest pond or ocean or lake or whatever type of water, and I'm driving my car into it and killing myself. Did I say and? I guess I did say and there. That's one that I caught myself. I might have said a lot more. I try to pay attention, but it's a little hard to pay attention to what you are saying and what you aren't saying when you are trying to keep a conversation with yourself going. It's a little challenging. But hey, this is what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. And again, you're not going to hear this on CNN and the New York Times, but it needs to be said. Speaking of doing a podcast, which we weren't talking about podcast, so I'm just changing this conversation because we're done. We're done with driving high. I solved it. Bill Hicks said it. It needs to be mandatory to drive high. And that's the fact. People need to smoke weed, do meth, do Adderall before they get into their cars. It's irresponsible to do otherwise. So, Dominic, and of course, I'm going to Austin, Texas, the Joe Rogan Palace, because what's going to happen is Joe Rogan's going to have me on his podcast, and I'm going to make 100 million followers. And if he doesn't, we're going to have a Reservoir Dogs standoff scene with a gun to Joe Rogan's head because he's not letting me on his podcast. I'm joking. I would never do that, but I am doing that. But we're going to Austin, Texas on Thursday, and I thought that would be a good idea because me and Dom have been consistently talking about starting our own weekly podcast so that we record every single week so that we can have a podcast going so that he actually has a podcast because the Lost Lighter, he's tried twice now. He's tried twice with the Lost Lighter. It's not working. Now, I'm trying with Dominic again, and for whatever reason, it's not working. Now, I don't want to point blame, but the person maybe with the 2 failed podcasts, me with the everlasting successful podcast that I've had that has 100 billion viewers, that I'm making $100,000 million every week. I'm the #1 podcaster alive. Maybe it's on Dom. But we had plans, right? We started these plans last week. I think we started talking about them Monday. We said we need to get this podcast going of ours if we are taking podcasting seriously. If we want to get on a schedule, we need to do it every single week. We need to show up, record a podcast even when we don't want to, and we need to set this as a priority of ours to do this so we can get better. So when we go to Austin, we kind of already know what we're doing. And you've seen the solo episodes. You've seen some of our podcasts together. Me and Dom have a very interesting chemistry together. We record and make very good things together. And I love working with Dom. The problem is Dom's a lazy piece of fuck who doesn't and is terrible at scheduling shit. And also doesn't take this as a priority. So I'm a little hesitant. I feel like I should call Nassim and get his opinion on it. My friend Nassim, who's also Dom's friend, you should get his opinion. I'm wondering if me, Isaiah, and Liz, because me, Isaiah, Liz, and Dom are all planning to move to Austin, Texas. I'm wondering if we should leave Dominic behind. I'm wondering if we should leave on a date randomly and not tell Dom. Like, not even mention it to Dom. Just leave at a random date and not even mention it to Dom. And then, like, one day he'll text us, no way do I have the fucking hiccups right now. I better not have the fucking hiccups, because if I do, this podcast is over. I'm ending this I'm being dead serious. So help me God, I will end this fucking shit podcast. So I'm wondering if we should just leave Dom. Like, maybe we'll even take Dom, like, on the trip with us to Austin, but we'll leave early, like, one morning and just leave him in, like, a hotel room in, like, Ohio. I know I'm serious. I'm being dead serious right now. We should take Dom to the desert in the middle of Ohio and just leave him there. I mean, absolutely 100% just leave Dom there. I'll call Nassim at the end of this podcast. Maybe Nassim will spread some like, and if he doesn't answer, then the podcast will be over. And it's also late, so he might not answer. So, but I'm reconsidering, because me and Dom kind of have this unwritten partnership together. I said I did the fuck. I did the fuck. Did I say like? I think I said like too, because I said we have like. Yep, we have. Fuck off, cunt. So me and Dom have this unspoken relationship of being a partnership, and we're trying to get a podcast together. We talk about doing comedy together all the time. We're moving to Austin, Texas together, but I'm seriously reconsidering all of that, because literally we've had this planned out since last Thursday, I believe. We've confirmed it this Saturday, and he texts me at midnight tonight to tell me that he cannot make it tomorrow, which is actually today. So it's like a 10-hour notice that we can't have a podcast. And also, this was supposed to be a very special podcast because of the fact that we would have a before Austin podcast and we would have the after podcast Austin. So we would have a perspective before and a perspective after, which I think that would be very interesting and very useful. And also, I said and. Isaiah would also be available tomorrow night. Or tomorrow morning, I mean. Tomorrow night, Isaiah has work, so he wouldn't be able to. That's bad. Isaiah has work tomorrow. So, fuck. Why am I blanking out on this? Isaiah has work tomorrow, so he wouldn't be able to help us out with the podcast tomorrow if we recorded tomorrow night. But he has plans because he has to pick up his sister after school, which was told about him today. But I don't know why he didn't tell his parents that we had plans today, because we've had plans for almost a week now. So it's a little concerning, because this has also been like the third time we've rescheduled to record this podcast. So, and fuck. Well, that's 3 ands. Fuck. This also would have been a good time for him to bring over a microphone, because Dominic owns a microphone and I do not own 4 microphones. I only own 3 microphones that are compatible with the audio interfacer when he owns one. So he could have brought it over tomorrow morning. I could have set it up, and then we would have had an Austin podcast Wednesday night, and then we would have had an Austin podcast before and after Austin as well, which I don't know if we're going to have anymore, which sucks. I also changed the lighting of this podcast for the first time. I brought in a lamp so you can actually see my face somewhat. I really like it so far of how it looks. I might try and get a different lamp. I might try and get different lights. I'm not sure. I've wanted to do a bunch of different stuff with this room for a very long time, and I'm getting very invested in doing that. So we'll see how this looks in like a month. We really will. We'll see how this looks in like a fucking month. Jesus Christ. So much water. And I did want to talk about this today too. I was at work today, and I came up to this door, right? I came up to this door. I'm a dom. That's an I'm a Domino's delivery driver, so I deliver pizzas. So I come up to this door. I'm delivering a pizza for, and I did and I knock on the door. Fuck. That's an shit. He opens the door. I happen to notice that it's a $5 tip, and it's from, it's from a black man, and that's an I did an and an I did an and that's great. While I'm trying to say something offensive and make it funny. Oh, and that's another and. Wow, this is going terrible. This is so bad. I say and, so I need to work on this so badly. It's a black man. He tips me $5. Usually when somebody tips you $5, you're nice to them. No matter what race they are, you're nicer to them, because $5 is a good tip. It's 30 minutes of work. If you think about that, minimum wage is $10, $5 is a half hour of work. So it's a very good tip. And fuck! Where was I? $5 tip is a very good tip. It's half an hour of work. I go up to him, very nice guy. I was polite to him. I'm very polite to all my customers, but I was trying to be extra polite to this guy because of the $5 tip. And I'm not kidding you. He goes, all right, let me go get my wallet. I'm going to try and give you a good tip because you guys have been working so hard. Very generous. And, fuck me! Shit. he goes upstairs. He starts looking around his whole house. He's like, give me 1 sec. Just give me 1 sec. I'll be out with I just got to go get my wallet. So he looks around his entire house. It takes about 2 minutes. He's like, it's not in my house. It's in my car. I do this all the time. I don't give an absolute fuck in the entire world. He's giving me more money and... Fucking cunt! Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my god. That's 9. That's 9 ands. He goes to his car. I don't give a fuck. I don't have to be at Domino's doing work, like doing the oven. So, like, I don't care. I'm just standing here waiting for him to give me more money. It's like the best. And I'm not kidding you. I'm fucking shoot myself in the face after this one. I'm not kidding you. He pulls out a $20 bill. $20 bill. This black man gives me a $25 tip. And it convinced me something that I've been somewhat debating for a long time. But black people are the best. They are the best race. And if you're that person, I fucking said and again, you son of a fucking cunt. Jesus Christ. If you're that person who gave me that $25 tip, listening right now, I want you to know that your race is better than mine, and I am so thankful of. I am so thankful. And fucking piece of shit! The reason why I said that it was a black man is because if I was black, I would understand, or more understand, why I was getting a $25 tip. The fact that this black man tipped a white man $25, who I'm also like 18 years old, who I don't need to pay the bills yet. That's fucking crazy. And I'm coming out now as and again, you're not going to hear this on CNN. You're not going to hear this on the New York Times. Black people are the best race, and white people just don't even compare. That's a fact. I don't want to hear it anymore. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, thank you so much if you are the person listening who tipped me $25. 5 times what you originally were going to pay me. Motherfucker squared it. Okay, he squared my tip. Motherfucker said, I know math. Homeboy came out here and did some fucking math and squared my tip. That's what I like to see, okay? And I'm done. They're better than Asians, better than Caucasians, better than Hispanics, better than Australians. They're white. Better than Russians. They're white, but not really. They are the best. They're the best. And I'm sorry. They won. They fucking won. And I'm coming out here to say, I'm speaking my truth today. I'm coming out and I'm saying that white people are, what is the word? Inferior? Whatever that word is that we're worse than. I can't know if it's superior or inferior. I think it's inferior. I really hope it's not the other way around. But my race is whatever word means we are worse than you. Superior or inferior. And I'm coming out and I'm saying that. I am saying that. And I said and again. I'm sticking with it. Okay? Sticking with my opinion. What else do we got going on? What else do we have going on? Stranger Things. Season 4 is out. Television this year, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I'm not too sure. 2022 is the best year for television that we're ever going to get. It's the best television year ever in history so far. And I think that it's going to continue to stay that way for a very, very long time. You have Boba Fett, the first season of Boba Fett that came out, which was good. It was good. You have Better Call Saul, season 6 coming out, which is fucking the greatest show of all time. You have Attack on Titan, season 4 come out, part 2. That is one of the best shows of all time as well. You have Ozark season 4 come out, which is also one of the best shows of all time. You have the Penguin show coming out. That show is going to be fucking insane. Colin Farrell as the Penguin in the Batman was the best part about the new Batman. And I am so excited and so hyped that he got his own show from it. You have The Boys season 3 coming out. You have, there was a bunch of other ones. Invincible season 2 should be coming out. And then you also have Peacemaker coming out. Or that already came out. I mean, and you have the Obi-Wan show that's coming out. These ads don't count because I'm talking about a list of things. And that's a lot of fucking shows. I mean, that's a lot of fucking television to watch. And those are all just the great shows. The great shows that are coming out. There are probably a bunch of underwhelming shows that are coming out as well. Close Enough came out too. I said, that motherfucker. Close Enough, not spin-off, but the person who made regular show came out with this show. Season 3 was fucking phenomenal. Love, Death, Robots season 3 came out as well this year. This year for TV shows is the best year for TV shows ever. And season 4 of Stranger Things came out, and yet the fact of all of the TV shows I just mentioned that are better than all of the seasons of Stranger Things combined. Literally one season. One season of any, I guess of the Penguin, I can't say much. But literally all of the seasons, take one season out of any of the shows I just mentioned, they are all better than all of the Stranger Things seasons combined. And we have people who can't shut the fuck up about Stranger Things season 4. I saw one of my friends, who I'm reconsidering our friendship, post on their Snapchat story, which, by the way, you know how ballsy you have to be to go on to Snapchat and type out an entire opinion. I've done this before. This is how retarded it is because I've done it before. You are going on Snapchat, typing out an entire opinion that nobody really wants to hear. And she is typing out about how amazing it is, that how many people are putting their hard work into Stranger Things season 4. Listen to me. Nobody gives a fuck about that show after season 1. All of the creators of that show were like, well, season 1, this is like my passion, this is what we're going to do. But they didn't think that they were going to get that far. They're like Obama in that sense. And that the fact is that they went for it, but they didn't think that they were going to get there. And that is Stranger Things, is that they went for it and they didn't really think season 1 was going to be a success. They worked their ass off in season 1. They didn't really think anybody was going to watch it though. Then everybody watched it. So then they demanded season 2. But there really was no need for season 2. They should have ended it at season 1, and it would have been fucking amazing. Because season 1 of Stranger Things is one of the best seasons of television of all time. Of all time. And you went from season 1 of Stranger Things to maybe one of the most average shows ever. One of the most average television shows to come out today. And people are going to watch that over Better Call Saul or Ozark. Hooray! Hooray! And my girlfriend keeps bringing up this point that, well, because of the fact that you are so young, people my age in particular who are 18, who are just coming out, who are still in high school, they're coming out as gay. I meant coming out of high school. When they're coming out of high school, they aren't interested in like Ozark, Better Call Saul, there's all these different TV shows, right? They're not into them. They're not into like The Boys. There's a like. Second like though, that's not bad. They're not into The Boys. They're not into Better Call Saul. They're not into Ozark. They're not into all these different types of adult shows. They want to watch Euphoria and they want to watch Stranger Things, which is like, okay. But can my generation not pick one good fucking TV show to watch? I mean, what do we have? We have Marvel, and we have Euphoria and Stranger Things. That is our TV shows. That is what we have to show for. When there are grandkids, when we have grandkids, and they're like, Papa, and Grandpa, and Nana, and Grandma, what did you watch when you were a kid? We watched Zendaya do drugs. We watched the same fucking shit Marvel fucking corporate bullshit that they come out with every year. That's what we watched. That's what we watched. And you're going to show this to your grandkids, and they're going to look at you in the face and go, what the fuck are we watching, Grandma? This shit TV show. What the fuck are we watching? I bet your kids won't even watch it with you. I bet your kids will watch the first season of Stranger Things, and the TV shows coming out then will be so fucking insane that they'll get bored of it after season 1. Because that's what you should be fucking doing. But, I mean, the last thing that my generation had that we all watched together, right, was probably Gravity Falls. That was our last thing, and that was like in 2016. We haven't had like a universal TV show that my generation has watched since 7 years ago. It's been 7 years since we have had a TV show that we all collectively watch and like. Because everything else is just dog shit. Euphoria is dog shit. Stranger Things is dog shit. All the Marvel bullshit is dog shit. Grey's Anatomy, I guess, bitches watch. But who the fuck gives a fuck about that show? And how God knows how long that show's old. God knows how old that show is. So, I mean, what is it? Like, Ozark, nobody wants to watch Ozark. Nobody wants to watch Better Call Saul unless they're a Breaking Bad fan, and some Breaking Bad fans don't have it. And everybody's filled with fucking ADHD and Adderall, so they can't fucking have the attention span to sit down through an hour episode anymore. And Attack on Titan fans are all fucking dudes. They're all dudes. No, there's not a single girl, and if there is a girl who watches Attack on Titan, she's on the verge of transitioning into a male. She's going into the different bathroom. She's not using the same bathroom as anybody else. Peacemaker is all the same people who are watching the Attack on Titan. The Boys is a mix of 40-year-olds and people like me, I guess. So, not fucking losers. Peacemaker is just, again, dudes. There's nothing. There's nothing we universally watch. Invincible is all dudes. What other show did I say? Obi-Wan. Those are all dudes who are Star Wars fans, and girl Star Wars fans are scary and make false rape accusations. So we can't trust them. We can't trust them. What are we going to do? We need a TV show. We need a TV show that will unite all of us and get us on the same page so that we can all agree on something. We need something that we can all agree on. Because there's just nothing right now. There's not even a TV show that everybody's watching. Nobody can sit down and watch like an hour-long episode, so you have to be... And the people who are watching like Love, Death, Robots and Black Mirror, they're all like virgins. And I said like, so fuck me. What are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? How much time? 46 minutes. That's an That's a fucking What a fucking dick I am. That's all I have to talk about. My generation shit. I graduated. Prom was okay. It's good to see that the school can't do anything right. There were some girls that were walking around drunk that would walk in and walk out. There were rumors of people who were getting kicked out and breathalyzed. I don't know if that was ever true. I got a limo. Our limo driver sucked, but look at privileged me over here. My limo driver sucked. He wasn't nice to us. The limo there and the ride there was amazing. I'm telling you, if I ever get into this comedy shit, I'm just driving around in a limo. That shit is fucking awesome. It is so fucking dope. I mean, it's the coolest ride I've ever been in. It was so cool. The ride there was better than the actual prom was. We went with a couple of our friends. So it was a decent experience. Graduation sucked ass. You had to wait outside. They were about an hour late on everything. So that was fun. It was fun having the school be late on one of the biggest days, probably for high schoolers, but that's okay. That's okay. What are you going to do? The people who spoke at the assembly for graduation, it was nice to hear the same three speech every single day. The one thing that was bullshit, though, about all the speeches is some of them would go into detail about how they want to thank the school, about how they want to thank everybody who helped them. And the difference between them and me is I wanted to kill all of them all the time because I thought that they were making my life harder and because they all fucking sucked at their jobs. And if you think that they did a good job, you can go fucking throw yourself off a balcony. Because what type of fucking world were you living in? So that was all nice. That was all nice. Graduation sucked. The speakers were unfunny. They all said the exact same things. They all bullshitted to us all in front of our faces. So that was nice, but I have my diploma now. I'm done with high school officially. This will be the first public podcast. My Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, they're all up. They're all getting these promo videos, so you can go follow them. It will be alerts too, as when my new podcasts are coming out. There'll be a new promo video for those. That was an graduation sucked. I I think that's it. And we had a pretty killer episode, so I don't really want to drag this out too much. Super excited for Austin. I feel like I can keep going, but I need caffeine, and it's 2 a.m., so I kind of want to wrap this up. I feel like we could keep going, but that's about it. That's about all. I need to talk about graduation and prom next time, though, because I need to think about my thoughts. My girlfriend was a little freaked out the entire time Liz was, so I wanted to slap her in the face, considering all the hard work I had done to get to prom. But that's okay. That's okay. We're moving past it. We're all growing. But I'm done with school, so that was nice. They did safe grad night, which everybody is a thing. Everybody goes to school. I'm getting into other stuff. There's a whole topic about all this I want to get into this podcast, but we're kind of at the end here, and I didn't want to go this long. My mouth is also getting seriously dehydrated from talking. I mean, I guess I could go into it. Should I? I'm going to go into it. Fuck it. Prom was good. The limo was good. I already discussed this. The thing was an hour away, which was a little weird. Again, I talked to this whole process about getting to prom. It was such a pain in the ass. I mean, it was terrible. It was so fucking horrible. We had to talk to the principal multiple times. We had to email them. They wouldn't get back to us about if my girlfriend was a student there because they weren't going to allow outsiders if they didn't have enough tickets, which is fucking ridiculous. So we went to this place. It was good. We went to dinner afterwards. The limo driver was just a complete fucking asshole because he wouldn't drive up my friend. We also had him for another hour and a half, and he dipped an hour and a half early, which is like, what the actual fuck are you doing? That wasn't fun at all. We might have hotboxed his limo with like nicotine, so that was okay. I'm joking. We rolled the windows down. Relax. That was okay. The prom, the food was fucking horrible. I mean, it was some of the most atrocious food I've ever had in my entire life. It was disgusting. It was, I mean, it was bad. It was really, really bad. The DJ was terrible. They weren't playing good music. It was a bunch of white people all in one single room. So that was a little weird. I'm not going to lie, even for me. So I can't imagine how the minorities felt in the room against the, superior race of black people. We didn't do anything. There wasn't a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of mingling. The dresses, everybody got really dressed up. Everyone looked really nice. It was good seeing people probably for the last time. I don't really give a fuck about any of them, though, because they didn't help with any of my future. So I think I have a different perspective than anybody else. The graduation ceremony was early. It was late. It started off really cold. Then it got really hot. They said my name wrong. They said Puskar. They got a Nigerian 27-syllable name right, but they got my name wrong. It was 2 syllables. Pushkar. It's not fucking rocket science over here. But they got that wrong. Don't know how they managed to fuck up that. They did it, though. We went out to dinner later. It's always nice to hear my old liberal grandpa make some offensive jokes. But it's always a good time. Good time with the push cars. It's weird though that it is all over. That all this time, these 13 years of showing up to class 5 times a week, all that mentally exhausting shit is all 100% completely over. It's a very strange, odd feeling that is good in a way, I guess, but there's also this feeling of how much time did I waste, about how much energy and time I could have been putting into stuff like this when it was all going to a completely different place. So that it's a little weird when you think about it like that. You also see some people who you think had better high school experiences than you who didn't get freaked out by this. My girlfriend was also sort of a cunt. Liz was also sort of a cunt about graduation because she was upset that she had to wait for a whole another hour, which is fair, but I also did the same thing. It was shit. It was overall the school can't do shit. The principal talked for about 30 seconds. It was longer than 30 seconds. It felt like it was probably about a minute, but it felt like 30 years. She should just shut the fuck up and never talk again. It was the first time a principal is ever talking at our Oliver Ames graduation because she's new. They kept thinking and kept saying our principal in all their speeches, which I thought was sort of fucking ridiculous because of the fact that she's only been our principal for about 10 months, 1 year. So, what the fuck is going on here? That's it, though. Those are my feelings. It feels good. It also feels weird. I'm excited. There's a lot of mixed emotions. But it's good. It's good that it's over. I feel weird. I'm going to stay in contact with some of the teachers. I feel weird with some of the people who are waking up from this sort of simulation that now it's real life. It's no longer this fake high school life. Now it's real. And the weird thing is with my class is because of COVID, we were all let out of COVID. So we all got this really real sort of take on of real life. We got to experience this whole idea that there is something else after high school. And because we were out of school for 5 months and we didn't see anybody from school for 5 months during the middle of it, we all got this big, heavy dose of reality. And some of us chose to stay on reality once we came back to school, and others did the exact opposite and indulged themselves in all these partyings. They drank more. They showed up to all the school spirit events. They would scream and shout during school spirit events like, what the fuck are you doing? It was fucking atrocious to see at some points because, I mean, it was just fucking pathetic. People would just get really into stuff, and some people just, like me, stuck to their own lane, stuck to their own shit, and just stayed on reality. And a lot of people got this waking up because high school's over now. Now it's time to be an adult. And so half of the people in my grade, I feel like, were very well prepared for this because they stayed on reality and they had this mentality that high school is going to be over and nothing was going to matter. And the other half of it went the complete opposite direction and tried to enjoy what they could out of it and pretended like it was never going to end, which, I didn't do. I think we'll be better in the long run, but I think I probably lost a lot of development from not enjoying high school and also being out of school for so long, for 5 months. That probably had a heavy toll on me. But maybe I wouldn't be in the position I am now of doing this podcast. I wouldn't have been crazy enough to start it and invest enough time to the point where I have the basics of being a podcaster and being able to record by myself for over an hour and get to this place where I can just talk with my mind open. And there's this and people who do artists and do podcasts do have this state of mind that they call the flow, and being able to access that flow of where you're in the moment, you're not thinking about anything else. And the thing is, with a podcast is you have to think, but you have to think while talking, and what you are talking is what you are thinking inside your brain. And that is just an amazing feeling that I was able to create for myself. And I was able to find the tools that was necessary to create that. And I found that here, and I love it. And I want to put in all my work and effort and hardship into this podcast because I think I have something pretty special here. I think I can do something with it. I said I was going to call him to see him, and I want to stick with that. Graduation sucked, but I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's over. And I'll also probably ask Liz about it when she comes on, and I'll probably have other guests talk about it. So I want to wrap that up, and I want to call Nassim and get his opinion on it, because this is very important. If not, we're just going to end the podcast. If we are, we're going to have a very special conversation, We're going to have a very special guest on the podcast. And it's very important to me, It's very, very important. We're going to call, Very important. We need Nassim's opinion, is the thing we need. I'm FaceTiming him. I don't know which was better, to FaceTime or call. Maybe I'll FaceTime and then call. If not, this will be the end of the podcast. Broke my ego there for a little bit. I came down from reality and tried to talk to you at the end here. Probably the last 5-10 minutes I talked to you like I'm a real human. It's good to talk to you from a real human. He's not answering, but it is 2:20 in the morning, so we'll give him a three rings. We'll wait for it to ring 3 times, and then we'll hang up. There's one. I want to wake him up and then be like, you're on a podcast. I figured he'd be on PlayStation, though. Alright, he's not answering. We're done here. This is the end of the podcast. Maybe we'll talk to Nassim another day. If not, I'm reconsidering my whole trip with Austin. That was the 56th episode of the solo podcast. It's very important. We said this time 5 times. We said 17 times. And we said and a whopping of 19 times through, what is it? An hour podcast. So we're going to get better with that. We are, I promise. I'm not going to do it as much. I'm going to try not to, at least. But thank you. Thank you for watching. And if you got to here, I very much appreciate it. Go ride a bike. Peace out, motherfuckers.